Hi guys, I'm Steven. This is Giselle.
Hi.
This is Azul, our little mascota in El-Rumbo tasting room and apartments here in the Dominican Republic. We're going to make a quick noisy video about our little electric car project. This stuff is super important to us, our off-grid lifestyle and doing little things to make us less energy dependent. America is just turned into this awful marketplace where they're trying to convince us that we need a 4-second electric car when that's just propaganda. We don't have a gas problem, we have an energy problem. So if we build a car that uses more energy than the gas car, that keeps those big companies still living fat, but it doesn't give us any power. We're still having to grind like crazy in order to pay for this crazy stuff, while they close to double this stuff with fake pandemias every couple years. So we're going to make a real simple, kind of lower powered electric car, something that all the rest of you can do at the house. We're being told we need $3 or $4 or $5,000 motors to power these cars when 100 years ago we had lead acid cars that with charging stations on every street corner in New York that had little 5 horsepower motors. Those cars are still running today on the original motors. I'm sure they've got new batteries, but lead acid batteries are beautiful. They're recyclable in-house. You just dump out the acid and then put in new acid, and you have a new battery. These lithium-ion batteries are a nightmare to produce for the environment. They're a nightmare to get rid of after the fact. This marketplace is just telling us some fibs. So let's go check out our little project, guys. Hey guys, this is our little. It's kind of like a side-by-side. Somebody built but never finished. The front is a Honda Accord, and the back suspension parts are a 93 Corolla. Since we picked it up, we installed the battery charger, the solar panels. The solar panels will just charge the battery pack. It'll take a lot of hours for the panels alone to charge the battery pack, but you only drive a car for a half an hour a day, and then all of the rest of the hours a day it'll be charging. So our numbers say it should be pretty much sustainable by itself. Our hotel has a 48-volt system as well, though, so we can just connect one of the 5 big chargers to the 20,000 watts of collection we have on the roof if we want to supplement that. These are our batteries. Again, lead acid, people. Lithium is awful for the environment, going in, going out. It's also extremely expensive when there's cooler battery technology around the corner, but we don't need cooler battery technology. What we need is in a light car that's going to want to skid off the road in just a quarter of an inch of water. We need some weight down low in the middle of this car in order to give it some good handling. So we got 4-wheel disc brakes, 4-wheel independent suspension, and a chunk of weight in the middle of this car that's super important. When these batteries get down to 50% capacity or 98% capacity, we can just dump out the water, put in new water, and we effectively have new batteries again. Once every 7 years, you can clean the batteries out with another chemical that runs about $3 a battery at the Ferreteria or hardware store. Because our little sailboat only had 6 of the Trojans, it also had a starter battery that's also a deep cycle gel battery. Ideally, we just have 8. This isn't really new tech. It's kind of just building a go-kart that for the last 50 years has been using 6 or 8 Trojan T105 6-volt golf cart batteries and goes for 40 minutes a day. Okay, this is our motor tech back here. This is our 3,000 watt inverter. The inverter is not necessary with the Amazon motors. The motors are several $1,000s, but they have a little 2,000 watt, which is 2 or 3 horsepower. Understand that even the little Chinese model cars were being sold have 65 horsepower, but a horsepower is a horse power. You can imagine that if you connected a horse to this car, you'd be good with one horse. So we're not trying to go crazy on speed. However, we're trying to use some new technology, some different technology anyway. Electric motors have power bands at the bottom, and at the top they have less power, and so putting an electric motor at its power band all of the time, like you would a small motor like a go-kart. Go-karts have a couple horsepower, and using these variable transmissions, they're able to go 100 miles an hour and take off with force, a lot of force. Spin the tires on takeoff, have a higher top end. So we should be able to use some pretty modest horsepower and really get some sweet performance out of this thing. So first, because we're waiting on the Amazon motors that are only about 150 bucks a piece, a little more, a little less, depending on the controllers and options, we've designed, we haven't designed anything. We plugged this into this little gear set that we bought at the motorcycle shop for $3. That's going to go on this, and some of our first trial runs will be using some household appliance motors. Okay, right here, this is 2 halves of 2 CV joints that I cut off. This one gets welded to this one. This goes into the pillow bearing and gets mounted here. This big gear then goes on the end of this. The big gear with the little gear on the small motor is going to let the motor have a lot of torque, and then the go-kart transmission is going to give us our top end. We'll probably only see that top end on flats or going downhill. We're not going to see that going uphill. We're going to go uphill a little bit on the slow side, and we're just cool with that. We're trying to build something that's pretty modest. We don't need a 4-second quarter-mile car or something like that. I don't know what that would be for. All right, guys, we'll update you later. Any questions, hit us up in the comments.